Oh my god, the worm tier list. New tier zoo video. My favorite YouTuber. Here we go.
The humble worm may be one of the most overlooked characters in the entire game. Though they may seem powerless and pathetic,
Worms are
in
OP?
reality, the worm faction has access to some of the rarest, most extraordinary special abilities in the game.
I don't know about
and
worms.
It can be a nightmare to play against. But which worm builds are dominating the meta, and which are just bait? Find out in the worm tier list.
In the worm tier list. Got you, got you.
Before we dive into the rankings, what even is a worm? Even though they're the most numerous creatures in the game, technically there's no such thing as a single all-encompassing worm faction.
Worms are 80% of all living creatures?
Related factions, but there are many similarities they share. All worms have long, tube-shaped character models with minimal or non-existent appendages.
I love the tier zoo guy. He talks in terminology that us gamers can level with and relate to. And we know it. He literally said they have a long player character models. Like, I know what that means.
Enabling them to weave in and out of tight spaces easily. Simple as it may be, this has proven to be one of the most reliable body plans in the history of the game, as worms have been in the game since pretty much patch 1.0. As far as base stats go, worms are not particularly stacked. Now, credit where it's due, because of their excellent regeneration.
Okay, what do they got? They got low intelligence, extremely low power, low defense, mobility's not that good, but they can burrow. That's probably what the little bit of mobility is, because they can burrow into the ground. HP, a ton of HP. Really, 70% HP? Stealth, they have 70. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. They can go into the ground. And what is this? Perception? Is that what that is? I think that's perception.
Narrative perks and uniquely
that's perception.
Abilities, they do score pretty high in both vitality and stealth.
30 perception.
And there are exceptions that score high in other stats as well. But in general, they have below average base stats in almost every skill. With simple brains, no weapons, no armor, and no legs, the average worm is pretty lacking in their intelligence.
I was about to say, I feel like worms aren't that good. Like, I feel like they're not in the meta right now.
Power, defense, and mobility stats. The exceptions are where it gets interesting though. So without further ado, let's dig into the tier list. First,
Ice worm.
The ice worm. This build takes the burrowing capabilities of the worm in an unconventional direction and
there's worms that can burrow into ice? That's kind of cool.
To dig through glaciers rather than solid earth. This is a pretty unique gimmick as it grants them completely uncontested access to glacial algae as a food source. But unfortunately, the ability to burrow through ice must have cost all their evolution points, because the ice worm has some pretty glaring flaws in its strategy. First, the ice worm's stealth stat is abysmal. Its jet black appearance offers zero camouflage.
Yeah, no in white ice, it's going with a black player model.
Surroundings, making
not gonna work.
Extremely easy for birds to spot from above and pick off.
Now I know why they're F tier. Horrible stealth.
A few extra points into snow camouflage would go a long way here. And the second flaw, ice worms ironically have almost zero freezing resistance or heat resistance.
What?
They die immediately if temperatures drop below freezing, and
this is the worst worm. They die if it gets too hot and if it gets too cold. But they burrow in ice. Are we serious? This is a horrible character.
Melt if temperatures rise to even a few degrees above freezing. Luckily, due to a quirk of the game's physics engine, the temperature of glacial ice is fairly stable at their exact Goldilocks zone. But as we've seen lately, relying on glaciers as a stable habitat is quite the gamble. It wouldn't take too much to make this build completely broken, but for now, it's the lowest.
What do they eat in ice? Like, I don't even know what would be in the ice that they could even eat. That's why they're F tier, man.
Ranked worm on this list. Also in F tier, we have the earthworm. Yes, it's true.
This is what we be seeing. This right here, we be seeing these all the time.
The archetypal worm everyone knows and loves is a low tier. Earthworms have terrible stats. It has no offensive moves, no armor, and isn't quick enough to rely on speed to escape attacks. What's worse, even the one special ability earthworms are believed to have is a bit overrated. Earthworms, like most worms, can regenerate from damage and potentially even survive grievous wounds if
Really?
they manage to get away. But that's a big if. Most builds that spec into high
Looks like this frog has a really long tongue.
passive health regen also tend to spec into the autotomy perk as well. This perk allows the user's appendages to break
Spider!
off if
I
grabbed,
love spiders.
allowing them to escape a grappling attack. This is a
Oh my God, he bit the
costly
leg
ability
off.
and one that I normally don't speak very highly of, but situationally it can be extremely clutch. Earthworms do not have this perk, and so when attacked, they often cannot do anything except tank the damage and try to burrow away. If that doesn't work, they're completely out of options.
Why did I not even think about a leech being in the worm class?
In D tier, we have the Leech. As the literal namesake for the term used to describe deliberately being
I
carried
think
by
they're
the rest of
alright.
your team,
I mean, they're really annoying though. When you got if you ever have had a leech on you, it's like, ew, brother, ew.
I actually think leeches are done a bit dirty. Yes, many leech players do fit the description, attacking a player in a higher weight class and just coasting off the free XP. But there are plenty of leech players who play an honest, active hunting strategy and have to fight to survive, same as any other predatory build. Like most
Wait, worms fight each other?
other aquatic builds, they thrive off of their strong matchup against low tiers like frogs, and spawn
Oh my God, they have swarm capabilities too.
camp them mercilessly. Leeches share the same garbage base stats as most other worms though, and with lackluster defenses and mobility, they still get one shot
I wonder if there's gonna be any worm on here that I'm like, that worm's actually broken. Like that needs to be nerfed. We'll see.
by fish, birds, and snakes all the time.
Like a windows of opportunity type of worm.
Frankly, the parasite strategy might actually be the less viable of the two, as leeches are not well protected at all when attached to a host, and can easily get picked off by perceptive players.
Damn. What is this? A horsehair worm. This is a new worm. We're learning about a new worm right here.
In C tier, we have the horsehair worm. This nematode takes the burrowing proficiency of the worm faction and uses it for an
That's the
unorthodox
littlest worm
purpose,
ever.
burrowing into flesh. Horsehair worm players opt for the parasitoid game plan, infecting their host
Praying mantises are so cool. Wait. They infect the hosts and like turn them into zombies?
hosts when they drink from contaminated water.
Infected.
It then uses its burrowing ability to pierce the digestive tract and hide out in the insect's circulatory
Bro, that's disgusting to think about.
system, leeching XP from it as it continues its playthrough relatively unimpeded. But
Mantises are so strong. I tried to pick up a mantis the other day. It was like about a month ago. It was on my hand and it was grabbing into me. I mean, it didn't like hurt, but it was like, wow, that dude's strong for his body weight.
once the worm reaches its max level, it activates its special ability, Mind Control, to change the insect's quest objective marker to the nearest body of water. Once the insect player self-destructs, the worm burrows out of its body and continues with the rest of its playthrough. This strategy is incredibly effective and requires
Are those all worms? Why are they so long? That's actually scary.
very little technical skill, as once you successfully infect a host, you can farm XP entirely AFK. Mind
I love Tierzu guy. I love you, brother.
Control is one of the most powerful abilities in the game, and it's shocking the devs gave it to a random worm build. Still, as with any parasitoid playstyle, the main downside is that your survival is tied to that of your host. So if you pick a scrub, you might get one shot when they accidentally wander too close to a
Where did brother come from? Where did this dude just come from?
tied to that of your host. So if you pick a scrub, you might get one shot when they accidentally wander too close to a spider's
Hey!
den.
Oh my
And
god.
this isn't just
That was a
hypothetical.
full.
In fact,
That
in
was a
some
full sand
servers,
attack.
The fish player base is literally reliant on janitoring the self-destructing players.
Catfish done got that boy.
Still, at least by being an internal parasite, they don't run the risk of being picked off like the leech
Okay, that was a C tier. All right, so F tier was the ice worm, the earthworm. D tier was leech. C tier was the horsehair worm. Let's see what's next.
B tier.
Fireworm?
We have the fireworm, a marine build with excellent defensive stats. Fireworm
Oh my god, I didn't even think about all the worm species that can be in the ocean.
worms have toxic spines, which inflict serious damage on any player dumb enough to attack them. This effect is powerful enough that even large tank builds cannot just eat the damage, and will learn quickly not to mess with
That turtle smacked him.
them. Unfortunately for fireworm mains, because their spikes are small and fragile, they cannot pierce
Look at
thick
this guy.
or keratin armor. This means any player with a thick exoskeleton can completely negate the fireworm's defense and crush them like they would any other worm. Some fish mains have also spec'd into the beak attribute in order to be able to do the same thing. Parrotfish and pufferfish are a huge problem for builds that rely on defensive abilities.
Okay.
As their
Can you imagine maining a fish, bro? Nah. I would want to be a mammal. If I'm maining any species, it's a mammal
powerful beaks
of some kind.
can crush armor and don't take damage from poison spikes. So, fireworms are
Or a bird. Can you imagine being a falcon? They can fly like 100 miles an hour. Maybe 200? I don't even know. They fly really fast.
untouchable to a lot of players, but there's enough counterplay prevalent in the meta right now that I can't give them a high tier rank.
I'll say you get countered easy. Fireworms, not that good. Giant tube worm.
Also in B tier, we have the tube worm. Of all the lazy AFK XP farming builds in the game, there isn't a single one that goes to as extreme of lengths to do so as the tube worm. The tube worm has crazy high toxic.
Whoa, look at the defense on this worm. Not a lot of health, but an absurd amount of defense. This is a tank class.
Damage resistance. Not because it needs to tank venom damage, not because it preys upon builds that use poison for defense. No, the tube worm needs toxic damage resistance because its strategy is to set up shop next to deep sea hydrothermal vents and basically eat the sulfur jetting out from them. It absorbs hydrogen sulfide using its plume, and because of a special team-up ability they have with bacteria, they're—
Oh my god, it's like Sung Jin Woo. Sung Jin Woo. Because he eats the freaking poison and he's chilling. Like his body, like the like power system that he has just completely negates whatever poison that he has. So that's what these guys are doing.
actually able to use that as an XP source, meaning they don't even need to really eat at all. They don't need to find food, they just constantly absorb the noxious sulfur spewing out of these vents. Because the sulfide turns water around these vents toxic, the tube worm doesn't have to worry about attacks from predators. They do, however, have to worry about the vents shutting down. Hydrothermal vents do not last forever, and when they go dark or erupt into lava flows, it's GG.
It's GG. So once the lava starts coming out, you done, no?
For entire colonies of tube worms.
Yeah.
An incredibly effective XP farming technique, but like a lot of these types of strats, it works until it doesn't.
It's an AFK strat, but then sometimes, you know, other factors kill you during the AFK strat. Velvet worm. Phylum Onychopora.
In A tier, we have the velvet
Onychopora.
worm. This build has even worse
Whoa, look at this guy. He like changes colors.
defensive stats than the other worms, as it doesn't have the same slime coating that the others do. However, it makes up for it by converting that slime ability into one of the most unique abilities in the game, a projectile attack.
It's like a horny toad where they spit blood out of their eyes.
The velvet worm can fire a glue-like slime.
It's a little, you know, it looks a little ayo. This shot looks a little ayo the way this liquid looks.
Slime from its papillae. This slime attack deals no damage. It's not toxic and doesn't hit with near enough
Yep, I've seen that before.
force to be threatening on its own. However, the slime is sticky and hardens quickly, debuffing the target's speed stat and potentially even completely immobilizing it.
You got this, gamer.
Slime is extremely strong once hardened, similar to spider silk in terms of what it's capable of immobilizing. Even builds with vastly higher power stats are not safe from being essentially—
Wait, so they can just slime them up and they're just immobilized. Like they're done, GG, out of the game pretty much. It's like when a Spider-Man grabs your support and then just freaking packs them up and immediately takes them out of the game and they get a respawn back to the spawn. That's kind of what that's like. Okay, so this is like Spider-Man worm. This one's pretty good. This is my favorite worm so far, easily, because it actually has, it can take out threats that are bigger than itself, which that's the best stat so far. And it's not AFK. Like the sulfur worm was just like taking in like sulfur from the environment. That's what it was feeding on. Like that's an AFK strategy. This guy's a go-getter. He's getting after it. Let's go.
frozen by the velvet worm's attacks. Now, while this is no doubt a powerful ability, It has plenty of limitations.
A lot of perception.
It is woefully inaccurate and will struggle to hit smaller or evasive targets consistently. It is also relatively short-ranged, only being able to hit targets a few body lengths away.
Yeah, but like, it's still good.
And because it doesn't deal any direct damage, even if the Velvet Worm manages to pin down a build like the Centipede or Scorpion, it'll still be taking on considerable counterattack risk when it tries to approach.
It can't do anything. Once it pins it down, it can't do anything. But it does have good defense because of that. Now, its offense is still bad, like any other worm. Bobbit worm, order Unicida.
And last in A tier, we have the Bobbit Worm. This build is easily one of the most
Oh
terrifying
my God, it's like a
things,
landmine.
not just in the worm faction, but in the entire game. The Bobbit Worm is a mid-sized benthic worm
What is this creature?
build which can burrow up to 10 feet deep into the ocean floor.
It's 10 feet long? This is an A tier? This is an S?
However, unlike most burrowing worm builds, the Bobbit Worm is not
I'm so excited for what's going to come up.
a scavenger. It's not burrowing to look for food scraps or to escape predators.
What about the Alaskan bullworm? Is that just in SpongeBob or is that a real thing?
No, the Bobbit Worm is an ambush build. It lies in wait, and as soon as
He
another player
Roadhog
wanders
hooked him.
close enough to its burrow, it strikes, using what may genuinely be the most wicked pair of mandibles.
Whoa! How did he freaking move like that?
It
He moved like an anime character.
using what may genuinely
Look at this.
be the most
That fish is shadow
wicked
stepped.
pair of mandibles in the entire game. These powerful jaws inflict devastating damage, while simultaneously hooking into their target so that it can be dragged down
That's
below
so
the
scary.
ocean floor,
If you're a fish build, I'm sorry, bro. That's scary.
to be seen again. Now, despite their ferocity, I don't want to overhype the Bobbit Worm. Though they are menacing, skilled players can play around their threat range pretty easily.
Okay,
Their
okay.
low perception stats make them pretty inaccurate when lunging towards their
Bad aim. As Jinxie would say, bad aim.
targets. Their attacks are deceptively slow, and as long as you position yourself even slightly above the seabed, they should be reactable and easily dodged.
Good
Skilled
dodge,
fish
man.
Players have even been known to drive Bobbit Worm players out of their territory by teaming up and mobbing their burrows. This requires a successful perception check with a pretty high DC, but if your party is competent
Dude, these fish are moving in an insane way right now. Fish builds. Y'all got it.
enough, you really shouldn't have to worry about Bobbit Worms that much. Despite being easily the most terrifying build on this list, the Bobbit Worm's poor frame data and predictable game plan keeps it out of the higher tiers.
Hammerhead flatworm. It looks like a hammerhead shark.
And in S tier, we have the Hammerhead Flatworm. Flatworms are the solo hunters
These
of
are
the worm
comp.
faction, and the Hammerhead Flatworm is one of the best at it.
They just elim snails like that?
They're faster than other worms, which isn't saying a lot, but still, it's relevant. They possess a devastatingly powerful neurotoxic slime, the same toxin
Wait.
found in pufferfish and blue-ringed octopus, which they employ both
Wait, he's just passively poisoning this ant.
offensively and defensively. But their most recognizable feature, their wide, flat head, was a bit of a gamble in terms of how they spent their evolution points. By speccing into the Hammerhead attribute, these flatworms sacrifice their ability to dig efficiently. But in doing so,
They give themselves more grab ability.
they greatly boosted their perception stat. Similar to the Hammerhead shark,
Wait, do they have eyes that they can see
flatworm's
like
hammerhead
crazy
is
wide
loaded with
FOV?
chemoreceptors, enabling the worm to track down prey by following its scent.
Oh my god, it smells super good.
In addition to their toxic defense, flatworms are the best regenerators in the game, able to heal all the way back to full health, even when cut into tiny pieces.
What? If it gets cut, it can go into other worms?
They can
That's literally like a Gario. Oh my god, that's a Gario.
really
That's so
only be
cool.
permanently defeated by non-physical damage, such as dehydration, salt, acid, that sort of thing. Because it's borderline unkillable through
It's S tier. That's our first S tier character. Probably one more after
conventional
this.
combat, the Hammerhead Flatworm is the only worm build to achieve the rank of S
That's
tier.
the only
The
one.
Hammerhead Flatworm
The Hammerhead worm's the GOAT. This is the LeBron of worms. Let's freaking go, man.
Worm's excellent tracking abilities
Whoops.
ensure that.
Go.
And even though I do have eyes, to be totally honest, sometimes I still get lost while exploring the internet. Or at least I used
True.
to, until I started using today's sponsor, Opera.
Oh, I like
is my
Opera.
new main
I'll
for
do
the internet
Opera.
meta, as
I'll
it's
show the Opera sponsor.
abilities other browsers wish they had. Here are some of my favorite ones. For keeping myself productive and avoiding getting sidetracked, I use Opera's tab features, like tab traces that leave subtle visual traces under my tabs, helping me retrace my steps at a glance.
Oh, okay.
The darker the underscore, the more recently you visited the tab.
I didn't even know about that. That's cool.
And means I
don't really open up a lot of tabs though, so it's not really a problem for me.
I don't have to manually sift through all of my open tabs to find out where I just came from. And thanks to Tab Islands, I can group my tabs by project or theme. So all my animal stock footage clips stay in one place, meanwhile all of my travel planning stays in another.
That's
I can
cool.
collapse and expand them as needed, keeping my workspace clean and clutter-free.
Alright, I like that. I like that a lot.
The awesome split screen feature, which splits the window so I can work on two things at once. Without
Not
needing to switch
sponsored.
back and forth.
Opera's the GOAT browser, man. Even though I'm on Chrome, Opera's the GOAT.
Between tabs or open a separate browser session. Look, I can reopen all of my research in a single move. Opera is also super customizable, so I picked a theme that I felt really matched the fantasy gaming vibe that I love. It even has sound effects. For me, Opera's best feature is its built-in music player, which I can detach to fully control my music without needing to interrupt my work.
Hey, I'm glazing Opera, but it needs it. It's worth it.
I can even use it outside the browser, so I can edit while listening to my tunes. Same thing.
Bro, looking at Premiere Pro, I'm like, what am I even looking at? I'm a DaVinci Resolve type of gamer.
Applies for videos. With the video pop-out feature, I can detach videos while browsing or using another app on my computer. For example, I can watch an educational video while I do my research or answer my emails. It's super practical for multitasking and productivity. Opera has been a game changer for me.
This video on the bottom is hilarious.
Check the description below to download Opera for free today.
Hey, Tirzo.
Thank you so much for watching. And
this guy's truly, this guy's the GOAT, man. Shout out the patrons. This guy's actually the GOAT. Tirzo, you make great videos. Appreciate you, homie. Let's get out of here. See you in the next one, boys.